Hi everyone. In this Revizto learning session, I'll run through the Switchback functionality utilizing Revizto and kind of run through some versatility as well. I'll show two different authoring tools. But what I want to convey here is how to use the Switchback, how to set it up, and what that means for your project in using that functionality. So here in Revizto, you do have some really nice view creation features, right? I can create section boxes or plane-based section cuts of the model. We can also create markups with those views and feed those into the issue tracker for review purposes or really just turning those into actionable items. So in the 3D environment, for example, what I'll do is show really quickly in Revit just how to set this up. So in the Revizto plugin, right, you'll have the export option, but you'll also have this option here, so the issue tracker. And what that's going to do is create a link between your design model and the Revizto coordination model. So if I select that, it's going to put me into the issue tracker initially. But what that is doing when you select that button is creating a link between the two models. So they're essentially able to talk to one another. So here in Revizto, say for example, I want to grab two objects in the project. I can right click and choose to fit a section box around those objects. From there, I have two options. So I can create an issue here. I can put that into the issue tracker. The other option is if I right click, I'll see the switchback to Revit present in the right click menu. Excuse me, when I run that, it's going to put me into a few dialog prompts there, and what I should see back in Revit is a Revizto isometric view. And one thing I want to point out, so every time you run that, it's just going to overwrite that in your 3D environment of Revit. So maybe, for example, I adjust this down and I wanted to get a clearer view and switch that back into Revit so I can adjust my section box. Again, I want to right click, switch back to Revit. And what it'll do, again, is just overwrite that isometric view as opposed to creating new views in your 3D view browser. Right, but the intent there is to, maybe identify something in the model I need to quickly review and change back in Revit. So I can create a section box, right click, and then it's going to take me directly to that spot back in the authoring tool. The other way this works is with the issue tracker. So for example, if I have a section box created here that I generated a markup with or created a stamp with this view selected, I do have the option to double click on these issues. So say I double click here. Again, I go back to Revit, and the intent there is to be, if I'm reviewing markups in the issue tracker, I want a really quick way to get back to my design tool in that exact location, make some edits or changes and have those ready to go for the next export or update to Revizto. So that's a little bit about the Revit functionality, how it works, directly in the 3D environment and the issue tracker. But there's also, say for example, I have other design models in here. For example, maybe something from Archicad. Right, so what I want to do is go into my Archicad model, again with the Revizto 5 plugin. It looks a little bit different, right, but same functionality. I want to select the issue tracker option there. So say I go back to my 3D environment, again, I'm going to use my object selection and fit section box around that selection. From there, with this view, I right click, and since I've enabled the Archicad model, now I can use the switchback feature to that tool. So it'll run through some operations, and then when I get back into Archicad, what I should see is that exact section box here in my Archicad file.